Rambo: First Blood Part 2 is a 1985 American action film directed by George P. Cosmatos from a story by Kevin Jarre and a screenplay by James Cameron and Sylvester Stallone. The film is the second installment in the Rambo film series. In the movie, Rambo is released from prison in a deal with the United States government to document the possible existence of missing POWs in Vietnam, but is given strict orders not to rescue any. When Rambo defies his orders, he is abandoned and forced once again to rely on his own brutal combat skills to save the POWs. The film continues the story of Rambo with significantly more action scenes. While the first movie contained more drama, the sequel is more action-packed. In reality, many aspects of the film were not what they appeared to be. For example, the movie was primarily filmed in Mexico, not in Southeast Asia as portrayed. Likewise, several weapons in reality differed from what they were depicted in the film. Let's start our walkthrough of the movie's weapons with handguns. All the Vietnamese officers in the film are seen armed with Zastava M57 pistols, chambered in 7.62 by 25 millimeters. The Zastava M57 is a Yugoslavian copy of the Russian Tokarev TT-33 pistol. A more accurate choice for the film would have been the Chinese variant of the TT-33, the Type 54 pistol, since the Type 54 is one of the officially used sidearms of the Vietnamese Army. When Colonel Troutman, played by Richard Crenna, tries to stop the helicopter from leaving Rambo behind, CIA operator Leifer, played by Andy Wood, pulls out a Sig Sauer P226 pistol and points it at Troutman. This 9x19mm caliber pistol was a new weapon at the time of filming and was in competition to become the official sidearm of the US military. Although it wasn't selected as the standard issue, many government agencies and some military units adopted it. Because of this, the use of the P226 by a CIA operative in the film is credible. The film briefly shows a .45 caliber M1911A1 pistol in a holster when a Vietnamese pirate places his hand on it as Rambo and Co. Bao board the boat. The weapon issued to John Rambo by his CIA handlers is a Heckler & Koch MP5A3 submachine gun, chambered in 9x19mm. In reality, the weapon used was a civilian-market Heckler & Koch HK94A3, modified to resemble a genuine MP5A3. The barrel was shortened, and the trigger group modified for full auto. In the 1980s, similar MP5A3 mock-ups were commonly used in films due to the inaccessibility of real military-grade MP5 submachine guns. The modified mock-up can be identified in movies by the absence of barrel lugs, the paddle magazine release behind the trigger guard, and a push pin. Co. Bao, played by Julia Nixon Soul, is seen wielding an Ingram MAC-10 submachine gun chambered in 9x19mm. She uses the MAC-10 during Rambo's rescue scene. Bao's MAC-10 is equipped with a mock suppressor. Shotguns appear in several scenes in the film. At the beginning of the film, guards are equipped with Remington Model 31 shotguns. In reality, the film used MGC Remington Model 31 replicas. A Vietnamese pirate is seen carrying a 12-gauge Remington 875 shotgun with a wooden fore-end, extended magazine tube, and a folding stock. AK-based assault rifles are prominently featured in the film, as expected. When Rambo first meets Co. Bao, she is armed with an AKM rifle, chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeters. However, the rifle is not a genuine Soviet AKM, but an Egyptian Mahdi A-arm. It was typical for Hollywood productions in the 1980s to use Mahdi rifles due to the difficulty of sourcing authentic AKMs during the Cold War. Mahdi rifles appear in several scenes throughout the film. For example, Rambo later picks up a few AKMs to eliminate Vietnamese and Soviet soldiers. Both Vietnamese and Soviet troops are frequently seen using AKMs. In one scene, a Soviet soldier searching for Rambo is seen carrying an AK-47 chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeters. The AK-47 in the film looks like a genuine Soviet model, but this has not been confirmed. It has been speculated that the AK-47 seen in the film is actually a Polytech Legend AK-47, manufactured by the Chinese company Polytechnologies. The film also features a Finnish Valmet M7883 with a Dragunov-style stock, chambered in 7.62 by 39 millimeters. The Valmet is seen with a Vietnamese lookout perched in a tree. The same rifle was likely used in movies Commando and Predator. M16-based rifles are seen with the Vietnamese pirates. In a scene where Vietnamese pirates are guarding the boat and docks, they are seen armed with M16A1 rifles, chambered in 5.56 by 45 millimeters. When the firefight begins, a Vietnamese pirate tries to shoot Rambo with one of the M16A1 rifles. At the boat docks, a Vietnamese pirate is seen holding an M16A1 fitted with A2-style handguards. In a scene aboard the boat, an RPG-7 and an M16 rifle are shown. This is actually an MGC M16 replica. MGC M16 replicas were widely used in various Hollywood movies throughout the 1980s. A Vietnamese river pirate is seen carrying a civilian market Heckler & Koch HK93A2 rifle, chambered in 5.56 by 45 millimeters. In the film, the weapon was likely intended to represent the HK-33 assault rifle, the military version with selective fire. However, at the time of filming, civilian versions from Heckler & Koch were much easier to acquire for production purposes than military versions. In the first Rambo film, the belt-fed 6.2 by 51mm M60 machine gun became iconic as John Rambo's issued weapon. In the sequel, Rambo continued to use the M60 machine gun, this time the A3 version. The weapon is first seen being fired by a Soviet door gunner after their Bell UH-1 helicopter drops napalm on the waterfall where Rambo is fleeing. Later, Rambo detaches the M60E3 machine gun from the helicopter when rescuing the POWs. This is repeated at the end of the film when Rambo lands the chopper at the CIA base, picks up the M60E3 from the chopper door, and empties it into the command center. The use of an M60 machine gun aboard a Vietnamese-controlled Bell UH-1 helicopter is plausible since after 1975, many leftover South Vietnamese assets included American-made weapons. However, a mistake in the film is that the M60A3 model wasn't released until the 1980s. Another inconsistency is that the M60A3 changes between scenes. In some, the machine gun has a longer barrel, in others, a shorter one. The film also features an older M60 machine gun with the bipod removed, door mounted on the Huey sent to pick up Rambo. Among heavier machine guns, the film includes Browning M3 anti-aircraft 50 caliber guns in the scene where a Vietnamese gunboat opens fire. Like many Cold War-era Soviet weapons, the real DSHK heavy machine gun was not available for filming. Instead, a DSHK mock-up was made using an M60D machine gun. The M60D version lacks a traditional pistol grip or trigger. The same DSHK mock-up also appears in the film Red Dawn. The real DSHK has a caliber of 12.7 by 108 millimeters, while the M60D is chambered in 7.62 by 51 meters. Due to the larger caliber, the real DSHK is physically larger, and the mock-up used in the film does not fully match its size. This mock-up DHK, based on the M60D, is seen when Rambo and the POWs escape the camp in their captured Bell UH-1, and Podofsky, played by Steven Berkoff, chases them in his Milmi 24 Hind Duel. The door gunners on the Hind fire at Rambo with the fake DSHK. In the same scene, a GE M134 minigun is mounted on the right side of the Bell UH-1 helicopter. One of the POWs manages to kill a Soviet Hind door gunner using it. Notably, the film greatly underrepresents the minigun's real rate of fire. In reality, it can fire up to 6,000 rounds per minute, meaning a burst into the Hind's tail boom could have brought the aircraft down. Rambo destroys an enemy boat by pulling out what is supposed to be an RPG-7 from under a compartment in the gunboat. This RPG-7 was fake. The weapon's body was from a 1950s RPG-2, and the rocket warhead was a plastic and rubber prop. In promotional material for the film, the RPG-7 is shown with a PG-07 scope. Amusingly, in some of the promotional images, the RPG-7 warhead is somehow attached to an M60A3 machine gun. Besides the fake RPG-7, the film also features another anti-tank weapon, the M72 Law. In the final scene, Rambo fires the Law launcher through the hole in the windshield of the Bell UH-1, hitting the Hind helicopter. The entire sequence is unrealistic and unintentionally comical, as the powerful backblast from the Law would likely have killed or wounded all the POWs in the back of the helicopter, and probably Rambo as well. This scene also includes a continuity error due to editing. It reuses footage from the earlier RPG-7 firing sequence. Other weapons in the film include M67 baseball grenades and the M29 81mm mortar. When escaping the Vietnamese camp, Rambo grabs the M67 grenades and uses them against the Vietnamese soldiers. The M29 mortar is seen when Rambo and the POW run through a rice paddy as Vietnamese soldiers fire at them with it. In addition to the aforementioned Bell UH-1 Huey helicopter, the film also features a Mi-24 Hind gunship mock-up. The Hind seen in the film was built around an Aerospatiale Puma helicopter. The mock-up Hind was originally made for Red Dawn movie. For Rambo, the fake helicopter was altered. The fake Hind-style front seen in Red Dawn was removed. The same faux Mi-24 Hind gunship is also seen in Rambo 3. One of the film's most iconic non-firearms is Rambo's Hoyt archery compound bow. The bow is an interesting weapon choice for Rambo and reflects his background. However, the explosive mini warheads used on the arrows are completely unrealistic in terms of their explosive power. Hope you enjoyed the video. Write in the comments what you thought of the Rambo First Blood Part 2 movie and what things and details you found in the movie yourself. Also remember to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it's worth doing so. It's free to subscribe, and you'll be notified when more interesting videos about firearms and movies are uploaded to the channel.